Konnichiwa, Deviriansu, Shiroi Shiroe Yokoso. Hi Devirians, and welcome to the White Castle. This is a game designed by Shay and Isra, aka the Yamadais, and with art by Joan Guardiet. This is a game for 1 to 4 players that lasts a little bit less than an hour and a half. The White Castle takes us to one of the greatest fortresses in feudal Japan, the Himeji Castle, and there you will be a clan leader trying to obtain the favor of the daimyo, the lord of the castle. And to do it, you will use dice to gather resources, gain influence, and basically place your clan members on the right stop at the right time. Let's take a look to what's inside the box, and then we will show you how to play the White Castle. So inside the box you will find first the rulebook, as always, with everything explained and pictures with different things that you will find in the game. And you have also at the end the icons involved in the game and the explanation. That's really important in the solitaire mode, but you can check it, it's easy, it's really intuitive. Okay, and then you have the main board, a big one for the size of the box. On top of the main board you have the clan point track, until 40 points. That's why you have also some tiles with plus 40 if you have more than 40 points, or plus 80. Good luck with that. Below it you have the passage of time track that represents the influence that clans will win over time. And next to it you have the round track, okay, with the round marker here, that koi fish, and the turn order here, okay. And then you have the castle itself with their surrounding areas. You have the gardens here next to the river with the 3 bridges that you have to assemble. They are not complicated. And the dice of the 3 different color. There are 5 dice, but we are simulating a game of for 3 players, so that's why there's 1 die missing on each color. You have also the well here, the gate of the palace, the training yards here, and the region outside of the walls, and the castle itself divided in 3 different floors with different rooms, with the daimyo room on top of it. And all those spaces here, they have place to place tiles and or cards, okay? You have dice tiles like those here with a colored die on one side and a benefit on the other. And you have also tiles for the training yards, those ones, with also benefits on both sides and different colors depending on which one you have to place on every space. And you have also, as we said, the cards. You have different kind of cards here. You have first the cards for the gardens, divided in the 2 different gardens that we have, with the benefits and what you have to pay to place your gardeners here, and a benefit and the points that you will obtain at the end of the game. If you see a yellow fan, those are points for the end of the game. If you see a red fan, like that one here, those are immediate points that you will score, okay? Then you have the cards for the palace, for the 2 first floors, okay, with the different benefits or actions that they may trigger, depending on the die that you activate. We will see that. Now is just to have a little background on the component. And the card that goes on top of the castle is the daimyo's room card, okay? There are different cards, but you have a space to place your courtiers here and a benefit associated to each space. Then talking about cards, you have also starting cards, resources, and action cards, we'll see, and decree cards that they may add an icon to a section of your personal board. We will see that. And finally, you have the cards for the solitaire mode and for big player aid cards, okay, that it explains how things work and how the turn will be performed. If we take a look to the common elements, you have finally the daimyo seals here and coins of a value of 1 and 5, the bigger ones. Those are the components that you will find for the common game, and then you have the components for each player, okay? Repeat it 4 times. You will have a personal board, okay, with the color indicated on the top right corner. The clan members divided into warriors, gardeners, and courtiers here. 3 tokens, well, cubes to track the resources that you have here, okay, that's the resources track. And that's the space for the lantern where you will place different cards and that will trigger different benefits. We'll see that. And a space for the starting action card that we seen down there. Finally, each player has a fan token to track the score, a heron token to indicate the turn order, and an influence seal that will be placed in the passage of time track, and it will also determine the turn order, okay? So those are all the elements involved in the game. Now it's time to check how to place them together to start playing the White Castle. First of all, take the main board and place it at the center of the playing area, and shuffle the cards for the different floors separately and place one on each space. Also take the daimyo room cards, shuffle all of them, and place at random one up here. The other ones can go back to the box that you won't need them, okay? Then take also the tiles for the yard tiles, shuffle all of them and place them here at random, respecting the color that you must show, okay? Yellow here, blue here, perfect. Do the same with the garden cards. Shuffle them separately and place one on each space at random. Take now the 3 breaches, place them on their spaces here, okay, the white of here, and take as many dice of each color as players you are, plus 1, because we are simulating a 3 players game. We have 4 dice of each color. Then roll all of them and place them on the breaches of their color, in ascending order from left to right, okay, leaving the lower value outside of the breach, and doing the same with the higher one, and the ones in the middle, they go on top of the breach. Okay, once we have here, it's time to place the dice tiles on their space. First of all, place 1 black die, 1 orange die, and 1 white die in those spaces here, and with the other ones just shuffle all of them and place them at random here, following the numbers here, ascending the numbers, okay? What you may have to make sure is that you don't have a room with a single color of dice, okay? That one is yellow, orange and white. If both were orange and you have to place the second one, or that one was white, then you will place that one in the next number and place a new one here. So you have to have at least 2 different colors on each room, okay? Same thing with the cards, the thing that we didn't say before. You have to be sure that the dark background action is not repeated in all the cards, okay? As you can see here, they are similar, but they are not exactly the same. If they are the same, you have to take the cards, shuffle them again, and display them back. And finally, you have to place 2 dice tiles here, but with the dice side looking down, okay? So showing the reward, the benefit here. For your first game, we recommend to do the setup as we have here, at least with the dice tiles, okay? That's the way that the game will be more balanced. So it's a recommendation that we have for the first game. Even respecting that the iron tile here is the one with the black die on the other side, and the mother of pearl is the one with the orange one, okay? Finally, create a common pool for the common resources as the daimyo seals and the coins. And talking about the, obviously place the round marker in the first place of the round track, and the common elements are already in place, so it's time to check how the setup of each player will work, okay? So all players will take their personal boards, one of their color, and all the material of that color, placing the clan members on their spaces here, placing the cubes on the number 0 of the resource tracks and taking all the influence seals, shuffling them and placing them here in the first space of the passage of time at random. Okay, then that order here will determine the turn order in the turn order track. Okay, so starting with the player on top, that will be the first player, and the one at the bottom will be the last player. Easy. And finally, place the fan tokens here, the fan markers, next to the board, because you will start with no points. So now that you have everything on place, it's time to take as many resource cards as players you are +1. So again, we're simulating a 3-player game, so 4 cards. And then place below each one of them an action card, okay? So you will create a pair of cards. So now, starting with the last player, so in our case, the blue player, players will choose a pair of cards, okay? And you will take the action card, place it in the action card section of your board, and the resource card will indicate how many resources you have at the beginning of the game. So in our case, 4 rice, 2 of iron, and 3 coins, and 2 daimyo seals. Okay, so we will start the game this way. Daimyo seals goes here, so as you can see, you have a maximum of 5, but we'll see that. Okay, and with that, everything is on its space. It's true that there are some starting cards that they may have a decree card as a reward of the resources, okay? Like that one here, it shows the decree card with a coin. If that's the thing, then if you take this card as a resource starting, they go in pairs, okay? So if you take the one, you should take this one. Then just take the decree card with the coin and place it here. Now it doesn't matter which resource card you have, just place it here and you will start having your lantern path here, okay? So let's imagine that we didn't have that one, here, so that's our card. And with that, you can start the game of the White Castle. A game of the White Castle is divided in 3 rounds, and in each round players will play 3 turns. So 3 by 3, you will play a total of 9 turns during the game, okay? So the game will start with the first player, okay? In our case, the yellow player, us. And that player will play their turn, choosing one of the available dice, we will see that, and placing it in a space and triggering different benefits and actions. After that, it will be the next player's turn, and you will continue this way until all players have played 3 turns, and just 3 dice in all the area remains, because you have played 3 turns per 3 players. It will be 9 dice that will be out, so 3 will remain here. That's easy. That will mean that this is the end of the round. You will do a couple of things at the end of the round, and if it was the 3rd round, it will be the end of the game, and you will check for the final score. So, during your turn, you must choose one of the dice displayed on the extremes of a bridge, okay? So, or the lower of each one, or the higher, that's up to you. And then place it on an available space, those spaces that shows dice, in the main board here, or even in your personal board, okay? Once you have placed the die here, just move the next one to make it available for the next player, okay? And now you have to check the value that you're covering with the die, okay? If the value of your die is higher than the value that you're covering, that value is the one that is already printed in the board, or it could be a value of a die previously placed here. If you are in a game of 3 or 4 players, there's a maximum of 2 dice can be stacked in a single place in the main board. That cannot happen in the personal board. That symbol here, it shows that dice cannot be stacked here. Okay, and in games of 2 players, there's no stack, just 1 die per region. Just the well is a little bit different, we'll see that. So, as we were saying, just place the die here, and if the value is higher, you will win as many coins as the difference. Okay, so we have a 5, that's a 4, we win 1 coin. Okay, if the value is lower, let's imagine that we took 3, okay, then you have to pay for the difference. So in this case, we will have to pay 1 coin. And if the value is the same, then nothing happens here, okay, 4, 4, that's it. So we're saying, you place the die in here, you check if you have to pay or you have to win money, and then you trigger the actions associated to that die. That means, if you have placed orange die here, the one that you activate is the orange die action here. So you cannot place that die in an area with no dice tiles of this color. So we cannot place the orange one here because there are no orange tiles here, okay? So here we will trigger then 2 actions, okay? So you will trigger 1 or, depending where, even 2 actions. And then it's just follow those actions that will give you benefits or trigger new actions. And after doing that, it will be the next player turn that will pick another die and continue this way. If you pick the lower die in each in the bridge, okay, it doesn't matter which one, you will activate the lantern action. And which is the lantern action? We will see it in a minute, okay? But as we were saying, the actions that you will trigger here in the different areas are basically obtaining resources or activating different actions. And the areas where you can go, as we were saying, is in the castle, okay, where you have to be to place the die on an available space of the same color, okay, not here and the others. You can go outside of the castle, outside of the walls, okay. Here is not limited by the color, okay? You can place the die of that you prefer, and you must choose between the 2 available actions here, okay? If you place it here, you must choose between the gardener and the courtier, here between the warrior and the courtier. We'll see those actions, don't worry. And the other place you can go is the well. The well is the only place that works a little bit different, okay? It will give you those benefits, a seal, a mother of pearl, and an iron resource, okay, so you will update those. And there's no limit in the number of dice that can be placed here, and the value will be always 1. So it doesn't matter if I place 5 here, we will win 4 coins here. If the next player comes with a 2, it still counts the 1, not the 5, okay? So that player will win 1 coin. And that's it. Those are the places where you can place the die. And as we say, those places will give you or benefits or actions. The benefits are really, really simple, actually. There are just resources like rice, iron, mother of pearls, coins. There are some that can give you coins, or even movement in the passage of time. That's a simpler one. Just if you, let's imagine that we are here and you choose in which order you want to execute those actions, then you win 1 passage of action time, just move 1 space forward. There are some points here that you need to pay daimyo seals in order to move more. So if you don't have those daimyo seals or you don't want to pay them, your seal will remain here, okay, until you pay, and you can continue moving once you win passage of time points. The other easy action that you will find here is the lantern, okay? That lantern will just trigger your lantern cards here. Now it's just obtaining 1 mother of pearl resource, so update that one. But once the game moves forward, you will have more cards here, so you will trigger more benefits here and you will win more things. And another place where you can place your die, that I didn't say it, is in your personal board, okay? It's each color is associated to a clan member here, okay? Courtiers, gardeners, and warriors. It's always a 6, so you will have to pay or remain the same. You won't win money by placing your die here. And then you will win all the benefits that are shown in the board. So for now, just 1 rice, but the more clan members you have on the board, the more benefit you will have, and always execute the associated action on your action card. Okay, now it's just the main one, but you will have others that that will be triggered in different rows. Okay, we'll see. So that's the thing. All the resources are very clear. Then we have to check for the actions. We've seen the passage of time, we've seen the lantern, and it remains to be seen the main actions of the game, that are those three here: the gardener, the warrior, and the courtier. Okay, so if you trigger the gardener action, it allows you to place one of your gardeners in a garden. Okay, just take the leftmost gardener on your board and place it on a garden that you prefer, paying the cost to place the gardener here. So those are better, but those are cheaper. So now we have 4, we can afford this one. So you pay the food and then you place the gardener here. Now you may obtain the benefit associated with the card. Okay, so in our case, if we pay 3 coins, we can execute a warrior's action. But let's imagine that we're here, we win 2 daimyo seals. Perfect. Okay. Daimyo seals are another resource that can be used, as we say, to pay for those things, to pay for different things to execute other actions, or at any moment during your turn you can exchange 2 daimyo seals for 1 resource of your choice, or 1 daimyo seal for 1 coin. Okay, and you have a maximum of 5 daimyo seals that you may have in your board. So just play with this and exchange them for other resources, and that's it. And the gardener will stay here until the end of the game. It will give you those points at the end of the game. Okay, you can only have 1 gardener per garden, but there's no limit on the number of gardeners that other players can have. Well, other players can have just 1, but all players can have a gardener in the same space. So now in a 3-player game, there's a maximum of 3, 1 of each color. Okay, that's it. Also, gardeners will be activated once the round is finished, but we will see that at the end of the round moment. So that was the first one, the gardener's one. The second one that we may activate is the warrior's one. It's pretty much the same as the previous one, but it allows you to place one of your warriors, the leftmost warrior in your board, in a training yard. Okay, just pay the cost here: 1 iron, 3 irons, or 5 irons. We have 1 iron here, so we pay that one, and then you may obtain the benefit in the training yard, 2 points in our case. Okay, and at the end of the game, those warriors will give you a number of points depending on the courtiers that you have here. We'll see that. And the last one that you will find is the courtier action. It works pretty much like the others, but it's a little bit different because it implies 2 different actions that you may execute or once each one, or choose between one of the 2. Okay, they are showed here. One of those actions is to place your leftmost courtier in your board in the entrance. Okay, just pay 2 coins. Okay, we pay 2 coins, and then place the courtier here. If you have no money, then you cannot execute this action, obviously. And the second action that you may do is to pay 2 mother of pearls to move 1 space up one of your courtiers, or 5 mother of pearls to move one of your courtiers 2 spaces forward. That's important. You cannot split this movement. Okay, it's 1 courtier that will move 2 spaces. Okay, this action is called social climbing. Okay, because they will climb in the social ladder. Okay, so if we have 2, we can move 1 space. And how they can move? Okay, from the door they can move to the first floor. Okay, in any of the 3 rooms. Sorry, and from those 2 rooms they can go to here, or from here to here, and from the second floor they can move to the daimyo floor. Okay, the daimyo room. So if your courtier, what you can do is, because you may execute once each action, you can pay 2 to send 1 in the door, and if there was another one here, or even here, we don't know, you can move the other one instead of that one. Okay, that you can do it. So the thing is that once one of your courtiers ends this movement in a room of the first or the second floor, you must flip your action card here and place it in your lantern area. That way you will have more symbols here, and you will have more benefits when you trigger the lantern action. And take the card that is in the room where your courtier is, and place it here, and then you may execute one of the light background action, okay? This one or even this one. And then replace the card here. If there are no cards to replace it, you still can use one of the light background actions, one of the two, but you don't have to discard this card, okay? You always need an action card, so that one will remain here. That's if your courtier ends the movement here or here. But if your courtier goes on top of the castle, if there are available spaces, just place it in one space of your choice, trigger the lamp action and the one associated to the space that you have occupied, okay? But if those spaces are already full, just leave it in the door, execute the lantern action, and that's all. Okay, and so basically those are the main actions that you will find in the game. And the game will go this way, choosing a die, placing it here, obtaining the benefits, and triggering the different actions. With that, your turn is over, and it will be the next player's turn. And you will continue this way until all players have played their turn 3 times, then it will be time for the end of the round. At the end of the round, what you must do is to follow those steps. First, you have to check for the new turn order, okay? Because players have moved in the passage of time, you have to check how the turn order will go, okay? If there's a tie in the place, the player on top will be the first player, and those goes here. Now, for example, it will be green, yellow, and blue for the last. After this step, if it was the third round, it will be time for the final score, okay? But if not, you just continue. Now it's time to trigger to activate the gardeners that are on the gardens, okay? Those dice will be placed in different spaces. Let's imagine that those are here, who knows, okay? And then, because 3 die remain here, that means that is the end of the round, okay? So now all gardeners that are below a bridge with at least 1 die, that's black one and the orange one, will be activated, and that means that you may use the benefit on the card, okay? In our case, we will win 2 daimyo seals. Okay, we cannot have the 2 because there's a limit of 5, so we will take 1. If we had a yellow one here, we will be able to execute also this action, pay 4 coins to activate an action associated to the die icon of our choice. Okay, some others, they have a specific color, like that one, that is, you can activate an action with the white die icon, okay? Okay, and that will happen in all the gardens, okay? Now the orange ones and the black ones will be activated, not the white ones, okay? Because there are no dice here. And after doing this, it's time to rearrange everything. Just take back the dice of all the colors here, just roll them again and place them as we showed in the setup, okay? Do that with all the colors, and finally move the round marker 1 space forward to indicate that a new round will start. And if it's the end of the 3rd round, then it will be as shown here, it will be time to check the final score. So at the end of the 3rd round, it's time for the final score. The first thing that you will do is, as we did before, rearrange the turn order. Okay, let's imagine that it's this way. So the yellow one will be the first, then green, and last the blue. And then to the points you already have, let's imagine that we are, that's not us. Let's imagine that we are here in the 20. To the points you already have, you have to add new points. You will add 1 point for for every 5 daimyo seals and or coins you have on your board. Okay, so now we have just 5 daimyo seals but no coins, so 5, that's 1 more point. Then you will win points depending of where your resources tracks are. Okay, you will win 1 point for each resource you have between 3 and 6, shown here, and you will win 2 points for every resource that you have in the maximum amount of 7. Okay, there's no more than 7, so if you have more than 7, you will stop at 7 and the other ones will be lost. Those are here. Then you will win the number of points shown in the passage of time, depending on where you are. Okay, here 6 points in those areas, 3 here, and those points here. And then you will score the points for the clan members that you have in the castle, okay, in the castle and the surrounding areas. For the gardeners, you will win the points shown on the card where your gardeners are. So in our case, 3 because of that guy here, and 7 because of this lady. So 7 and 3 is 10, 21, 31, perfect. Then you have to check where your courtiers are, and you will score 1 point for each courtier you have at the door, 3 for each courtier you have in the first floor, 6 for each courtier you have in the second floor, and 10 for each courtier you have in the daimyo's room. So for now, 10 and 3, 13 more points. So 31, it's 45. No, yeah, 310, no, 44, perfect. And take this one. And finally, you score for the warriors. Warriors, they depend also on the courtiers, and you will score the value of the warriors that you have in that yard multiplied by the number of courtiers you have inside the castle. So in this case, the ones at the door, they don't count. So in our case here, we have 1 warrior here that is worth 2 points multiplied by 2 courtiers that are here. That one grants us 4 points. Okay, 4 more points. And that one is 1 for this guy here multiplied by the number. So 1 per 2, 2 more points. And that's it. With once you have do all the maths and calculated all those different points, at the end, the player with more points will receive the favor of the daimyo, and more important, will be the winner of the game. In the solitaire mode, you will play against another clan that wants to obtain the favor of the daimyo. Okay, the setup is exactly the same as for a 2-player game, but instead of displaying the resource and action starting cards, you will draw just one of each at random, and those are your starting cards. And for your opponent, you won't need any board. Just choose a color. In our case, we've chosen the yellow color. So yellow is not the player now. Yellow is the opponent, is the automa. Okay, and you just need a small space to keep the clan members and the cards and the money that they will accumulate here. Okay, then the starting position of the different elements of the fan to track the score, and the influence seal here, it will depend on the level of difficulty that you want. Okay, so in our case we go for the easy mode, so 0 here, 0 here, and second player. Okay, and with that, as we said, it's just, well, it should be 3 dice here. Okay, because as you remember, there must be as many dice as players who are +1, so 3 for a 3-player game. And with that, you can start playing. The game goes as normal. Okay, you will play regular during your turn, but there are a couple of things that you must know about your opponent before showing how they play. Okay, you must know that they pay for nothing. They receive nothing but money. The only thing that your opponent will win is money. No daimyo seals, no resources at all. They activate no action. Okay, the actions will be determined by their cards. And finally, they can place the die on a place that the color doesn't matches. Okay, they can place orange die here if the card says so. So knowing those things, it's time to check how the automaton will play. Okay, so your turn will go as normal, but for your opponent, it's just as simple as shuffling all the cards of the solitaire deck, and then flipping the top card. Okay, then the top card will show a die here. Okay, in here is the leftmost die on the orange bridge. So if the die is available, then you will follow some steps. But if the die is not available, let's imagine that the one was already used by us, then you must flip a new card, okay? And you will continue doing so until the die shown on the top card is available. Then your opponent will place that die in the place that is shown here, okay? So in our case, here. Then if your opponent must win money, then they will get that money. Here we have 3, but as we said before, they pay for nothing. So if that one was a 1, they won't pay the difference, okay? And then they will execute the actions shown in the cards on the 2 rightmost cards, if they are, okay? Let's imagine if the first die was available, there will be just 1 card, so you will execute the actions of that first card. But let's imagine that the second one wasn't available, so we have 3 cards. You will execute the action just in the last 2, in the 2 rightmost cards, okay? And the actions will be executed from top to bottom, sorry, and from left to right, okay? Those actions are really intuitive, but they are also shown in the rule book, so there's no time now to waste to explain everyone. And that's the thing. A couple of things that you have to know here. If the place where you have to place the die is occupied, let's imagine that that one cannot be placed here, but let's imagine that that place was already full, so we cannot stack because it's a 2-player game, then the die will go directly to the well, okay? And for ejection that your opponent cannot perform because they have no clan members to move or anything, if they cannot perform this action, they will win as many points as the round where you are, okay? So 1 for the first one, 2 for the second, 3 for the third, okay? And that's it. That will be your opponent turn, then it's your turn, and you will move this way until just 3 die remains here. That means that you have played 3 turns, same thing your opponent, and it will be the end of the round moment. For the at the end of the round, you will first change the turn order according to the passage of time track, okay? And then you will activate your gardeners as normal and everything, but your opponent, before activating the gardeners, will exchange their money for victory points, for clan points, okay? And it will depend. If the automa is the first in the turn order, he will exchange 3 coins for as many points as the round where you are, okay? Now is the yellow, sorry, so that's the thing. But if he's second, if they are second in the turn order, it's 5 coins that they may exchange to win as many points as the round where you are, okay? So it's in your interest to be always first. That way they will score less than it. And then for the gardeners, when they have to activate the gardeners, same thing. For each gardener that your opponent must activate, because they won't obtain any benefit and they cannot trigger different actions, they will win as many points for gardener that has to be activated as the round where you are. And you will continue this way. Then just roll all the dice, place them again, and a new round starts, and you will continue until the end of the 3rd round, where you will score as normal, and your opponent will score the same, but they won't score for money because money has already been exchanged, and they won't score for resources. If money, if there's money, let's imagine that your opponent has exchanged 3 and 2 are remaining here, they cannot exchange. They will save it for the next round. Okay, so that's it. At the end, both will score normally, but your opponent won't score for resources and for daimyo seals. And if you manage to have more points than your opponent, well, you will win the favor of the daimyo and you will be the winner of the White Castle. And that's it. That's the White Castle. An interesting game with the Yama dice seal of dice placing, word placing, with just one thing you must do, that is to place a die. Okay, so there's not much to do, but with strategic decisions in the middle and where you must put the dice that will show you, that will squeeze your brain. We hope you enjoy the game, and remember, keep playing. Bye.